Hello, this is Simon Klein from TradeSmart at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the 19th of February 2017. Welcome to this week's episode of Where is the Dollar Going Next? What I'm going to do this week is change the format slightly, and what you see in front of you now is the dollar index futures wound back to where it was at the end of last week. So we said last week that if the dollar was able to go above this supply zone over here, it's highly likely to move up to the supply zone above. And once it gets there, it's likely to move back down into the demand zone and potentially oscillate between these two zones. So let's see how the market actually played out. So on Monday, the market actually moved up and we cleared the supply zone here. So the odds are highly likely it's going to move into this supply zone above. And you see this is exactly what happened the following day and the day after. Once it hit the supply zone, we came to the downside and the following day continued to move down into the demand zone. Now since we're sitting in demand, the odds are for the next day, which was Friday, the market actually bounced and went to the upside. So this is what happened last week, exactly as we said was likely to happen. So what I'm going to do is set up the charts for this week. So let's remove these lines, the supply and demand zones, and we're going to make it a bit clearer. So we're going to identify a demand zone over here. So I'm going to mark this area over here. See the market's moving up from there, and we're going to identify a supply zone over here for this following week. Now, what are the odds of where the dollar is likely to go next this week? Well, at the moment we're moving up from this demand zone. If we're able to move above this supply zone over here, highly likely we're going to move to the supply zone above. But if we're not able to move above this area and we happen to go below this demand zone, highly likely we're moving down to the demand zone below. Now, let's zoom out and have a look at the weekly chart. A few weeks ago, we said that we actually broke the uptrend on the weekly chart. You can see that this move down went below this pivot over here. So we actually broke the uptrend. And we also said that if the market's going to bounce, it's highly unlikely to make new highs because we're no longer in an uptrend. So this move up is likely to be sold at some point, which it looks like is happening at the moment. Now, if we're able to make a lower pivot high at the end of this week, then the probabilities are more in favor of a continuation of the move to the downside. But we're not going to know that, and that might not even happen this week. And if we take our attention to the monthly chart, as we said at the beginning of the month, the market's deciding now whether we're going to hold this demand zone and move higher, or whether we're going to continue to the downside, and this will be like a false breakout bull trap type of scenario. So that's the odds of where the dollar is likely to go next this week. If you like this video, hit the like button below, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe at the end. This is Simon Klein from TradeSmart wishing you the best of luck with your trading this week.